Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, we're going to dive into a deeply emotional and heartwarming story about survival, kindness, and the unbreakable bond between strangers in the heart of the forest. It's a tale that will touch your soul and remind you of the beauty of human compassion. If you enjoy stories like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. Let's begin. It was a quiet, peaceful morning like any other. Sunlight filtered gently through the foliage, casting dappled shadows on the thatched roof of a modest wooden house nestled deep in the forest. Birds chirped in the distance, their songs rising and falling like a serene hymn welcoming the new day. Outside, an elderly man hunched over, sweeping dry leaves off the stone path with a handmade bamboo broom. Nearby, his wife carefully balanced 2 buckets of water, trudging slowly up from the creek to tend the vegetable garden. Their daily routine unfolded like a well-worn ritual, repetitive, unhurried, and full of quiet dignity. Inside the small room at the back of the house, a young woman lay motionless on a bamboo bed. Her face was pale, lips colorless, and her fragile frame barely rose and fell with each shallow breath. Morning light crept in through the window, catching the tangles in her unkempt hair. The old woman stepped in, carrying a tray with a bowl of hot porridge and a cup of dark, bitter herbal medicine. Sitting beside the bed, she murmured gently, her voice trembling with tenderness. "Come on, child. This porridge has a bit of minced meat in it. Try to eat, even a little. You need strength." With shaking hands, she spooned the porridge into the girl's mouth, one small bite at a time. Then came the medicine. Bitter, thick, but necessary. Her eyes never left the girl's face. Suddenly, the girl frowned slightly. A faint moan escaped her dry throat, and slowly, her eyelids fluttered open. Dazed and sluggish, she stared up at the ceiling as if emerging from a dream too deep to name. "You're awake! Oh, thank heavens! You're really awake!" Tears welled in the old woman's eyes. She clutched the girl's frail shoulders, shaking gently, overwhelmed by a mix of joy and disbelief. The girl sat up slowly, her hands gripping the bedsheets as fear began to rise in her chest. Who am I? Where am I? I don't remember anything, not even my name." The old woman embraced her. "It's all right, dear. Don't be afraid. You're safe now. Just rest. Your memory will come back in time." The old man rushed in from outside, hearing the commotion. Seeing the girl awake, he knelt beside her and took her hand. "We found you near the stream, unconscious. You had a terrible fever. We thought we were too late. But you're here now. You're safe." The girl wept in silence, tears streaming down her cheeks. Her mind was a blank void. No name, no memory, no past. Only confusion and pain. "I don't have a name. I don't know anything," she whispered. The old man exchanged a look with his wife. "Then let us give you a name, something gentle and hopeful. How about lytuci?" The old woman nodded, brushing the girl's hair back from her face. "Yes, lytucai. It's a beautiful name, a new name for a new beginning. From now on, you are part of this forest and part of this home." Tukai nodded weakly. Though the name meant nothing to her, it felt right, comforting, safe. Later, the couple left her to rest. The little house was soon filled with the scent of cooking rice and fresh herbs. That afternoon, they ate a simple meal together: warm rice, stir-fried greens, and a small portion of dried fish. But for the first time in months, the meal was filled with warmth and laughter, because lytuci, the girl who had been lost, had returned to life. "She's eating again, you see. She'll get better," the old man said with a quiet smile. "Yes," the old woman replied, her eyes gleaming. "It's like a miracle. Heaven must be watching over us." As the sun dipped lower, casting golden hues across the treetops, the old woman fed the chickens while her husband prepared herbs to brew medicine. Smoke rose gently from the kitchen, curling through the air with the scent of crushed roots and bitter leaves. Tuki sat on the porch, leaning against a wooden pillar, still too weak to walk much, but no longer in danger. When the medicine cooled, the old woman brought it over. Tukai winced at the taste, but drank it slowly, gripping the woman's sleeve like a child seeking comfort. "Everything will be all right, child," she said softly. "You just have to be strong. We're not going to abandon you." That night, the house glowed dimly with the soft light of an oil lamp. Outside, wind whispered through the trees, slipping through cracks in the wooden walls. It was colder than usual, but somehow the little home felt warmer than ever. Tuki watched the elderly couple tending the fire. Gratitude welled up inside her, overwhelming. "If it weren't for you, I would have died. Thank you." "Truly." The old man stroked his long white beard with a faint smile. "We're just glad you're alive. Don't thank us. This is your home now." The old woman added, "Get some rest. Don't worry about anything. Your memories will return when they're ready." That morning, as the old couple were preparing the stove to boil medicine for Tuki, like usual, strange noises echoed from the yard. The roar of motorbikes, heavy footsteps on the ground, and harsh yelling filled the air with tension. A group of tattooed men appeared, led by a man in a black shirt, followed by several rough-looking thugs. Shockingly, among them was someone who left the old couple frozen in place. Vun, their long-lost son who had disappeared for years, was being dragged along like a lifeless pup. "Where are Mr. and Mrs. Tom? Anyone home? Come out here!" the leader shouted, slamming a fist into the wooden door, sending it flying open. Mr. Tom staggered out, trembling, with Mrs. Tom hurrying behind him. Before they could say a word, the thug Vun lifted his head, his face filthy and eyes full of fear. "Dad, please help me. If you don't pay them, they'll kill me." Mrs. Tom nearly collapsed. "Oh God, you've calmed the gang leader sneered. I don't care what your family is like. Your son owes me, and I will collect. We have nothing left. How are we supposed to repay this?" "Mrs." Tom cried out, her voice echoing hopelessly through the mountains. "Go inside and grab anything valuable," the thug ordered. One of the men shoved Mr. Tom aside. Another ran inside, rummaging through every old chest and drawer. A few crumpled bills and worthless items were thrown to the floor. "This is all the money they have, boss. What else can we take?" the man reported. Then his eyes landed on the corner of the yard, where the couple's only pig lay in the pen. "There's that pig, boss. Please, no. That pig is all we have to survive," Mr. Tom begged. The leader pulled out his phone. "Hey, Cock, get over here. We're at Vun's parents' place. Bring the truck and haul the pig, now." Mrs. Tom rushed to block the pen, but was shoved aside roughly. "Out of the way! Please don't!" she sobbed, unable to form words. "What's wrong with you old folks? You like watching your sons suffer? We're taking the pig as collateral." "You there! Bring the cage in! Grab the pig!" the leader shouted. "God, it's our only pig! Without it, how do we live?" Mr. Tom cried out. "This old man won't give up, huh? Just a pig, and you're making a fuss? Sir, I'm begging you, please let my son go. Get your hands off me." "No, you can't take my pig," Mr. Tam shouted, trying to hold him off, but he was too weak. "Got it, boss. Bunch of useless fools, can't even catch a pig. Carry it out here." "Please, just go," Mr. Tom muttered, barely conscious. "Move aside, begging won't change anything." "Back off, both of you. You think if I let you off, someone will let me off? Get out of the way. Let's move!" They lifted the pig onto the truck and dragged Voon along with them. Mr. and Mrs. Tom collapsed on the ground. Mrs. Tom stared blankly, clutching the basket of wilted vegetables in her trembling hands. Nothing was left. The pig, their last possession, was gone. The son they thought they'd lost had returned, only to leave again in chains. "Oh dear God, even the pig, they took it all. What are we supposed to live on now?" she muttered. Mr. Tom sat beside her, gently brushing her gray hair. "It's over now. Don't worry. At least we still have each other. We'll find a way." He looked out toward the mist-covered hills in the distance. "I still hope. That reckless boy of ours. Maybe one day he'll come back and change." Mrs. Tom pressed her lips together, tears falling onto her wrinkled hands. "Yes, I hope so too. No matter what happens, we still have each other," he whispered.
Một cặp vợ chồng già sống cô lập đã cứu một cô gái trẻ mất trí nhớ và đặt tên cho cô là Lý Tiểu Kỳ. Dù nghèo khổ, họ vẫn chăm sóc cô bằng tất cả lòng trắc ẩn. Khi Tử Kỳ bắt đầu hồi phục, tai họa ập đến. Bọn cho vay nặng lãi tìm đến để đòi nợ mà con trai họ để lại. Không còn cách nào khác, đôi vợ chồng bắt buộc phải trao đi con heo quý nhất, duy nhất, tài sản quý giá cuối cùng trong nhà. Căn nhà rơi vào cảnh u ám, nặng trĩu nỗi buồn. Chứng kiến tất cả, Tử Kỳ xúc động sâu sắc. Dù cơ thể còn yếu, cô vẫn quyết tâm giúp đỡ, cùng gánh vác nỗi lo với họ. Từng chút một, cô hòa vào cuộc sống thường ngày của họ trong căn nhà gỗ sơn đơn sơ ấy, giữa muôn vàn thiếu thốn và mất mát. Một mối dây gắn kết mong manh nhưng lại mạnh mẽ dần hình thành giữa ba con người. Nó không bắt nguồn từ truyền thống mà từ lòng tốt, sự tin tưởng và khát khao mãnh liệt được sống.